Is AI behind all of the recent hacks that we're seeing around the web right now, mainly in relation to these crazy hacks happening in crypto, between Drift happening a week or two ago, yesterday with KelpDAO and the RS ETH incident? This hack is actually shaping up to be much, much more than that initial 300 mil in terms of all of the capital that was affected. I think Aave lost $6 billion in deposits or something like that, or maybe that might have been in its market cap. Uh, the effects that this has had in across all of crypto, it's actually quite big, to be honest. This video will be a lot less focusing on that specifically, but more so talking about the conversation of where does AI play a part in all of this. There's been conversations on CT going on about it. I have my own take, and I kind of want to just talk through it. And obviously, feel free to leave me your thoughts in the comments below. But first of all, it starts off with a little bit of ChatGPT, Claude, like these different kind of companies kind of coming out and saying, coming out with their own types of pretty much like softwares or algorithms that are essentially purpose built to be able to discover vulnerabilities. Ideally, of course, in a white hack sense, but the ability to discover them nonetheless. The fact that there's AI out there that's actually able to detect vulnerabilities in code, more particularly, of course, in code that's backing large amounts of capital like crypto. Now, again, a lot of speculation was like, oh, maybe Mythos or I think OpenAI, the EVM bench thing. I don't know if that was related to that, but I don't know. Was it one of those two that maybe has anything to do with what happened with Drift or what happened with RS ETH? And I want to say no, although it's quite ironic that all this stuff is happening at the same time. Well, let me just go ahead and boom. Drift and RS ETH. Drift was more of like a social kind of hack, social attack essentially on, I think it was a couple of validators, if I'm correct. Essentially, they were able to get trust, and they clicked on the wrong link, or they clicked on something, and the rest is history. And RS ETH, the current understanding is that the main problem was that it was a one-of-one multisig essentially that controlled that the asset of the multi-chain asset that RS ETH is within the layer zeros kind of ecosystem of products that it has. In my last video, I referred to it as a DVN, a decentralized verifier network or something. Of course, again, the conversation on crypto Twitter is essentially divulged to how can we call something decentralized or a network if it's only one person signing that needs to sign to actually execute things, right? The thing is that AI, you don't need AI to hack that, right? You just need to gain access to that multisig, and that's it. So that one signature, and then you're cooked, right? So you could argue, yes, Mythos and these other AI instruments that may be coming out, they may play a part in discovering really, really bad vulnerabilities in crypto soon, and maybe they already are, right? I don't think it's been explicitly said that Mythos or Claude's thing or OpenAI's. I don't think anyone has specifically been able to prove that they had anything to do with these recent crypto hacks. Not to mention Versal, by the way, was also hacked today. Maybe they had something to do with that. I don't know. But again, I digress, is that I think security practices in general, and this is what I should have mentioned in my other video and the previous videos actually I made about hacks before, is that people's security practices in crypto are not good enough, especially for teams. And I think I know where it comes from, where you're a small team, you're a startup, you kind of just want to move quick, move fast and break things is the saying. You just want to build to reach PMF as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible, because any added bureaucracy or any added layers of complexity may slow you down, right? Which in the beginning, you could argue, okay, well, you're starting out, you literally launched yesterday, okay, whatever. Your security practices probably aren't going to be the best. The things that I think what happens is a lot of these teams scale, they grow, and they forget, hey, I got to scale my security practices too. Okay, I went from securing maybe $10,000, which is still a lot of money, by the way, but now I'm securing $1 million. Now I'm securing $5 million, $50 million, $100 million. Your security practices should be able to scale along with the protocol you're building. And I think a lot of these teams, unfortunately, there are a good amount of them that it's not the most important thing at that moment. And again, it may add another layer of bureaucracy or et cetera to their growth. So they're like, we'll worry about it later. And unfortunately, that later never comes because something like this ends up happening, maybe, or they end up winding down, and maybe they never got hacked anyways. It's essentially, it's like the idea of insurance, right? But unfortunately, there's a lot of value on the line for some of these bigger projects. Now, I don't know if that was the case for Kelp now. I don't know what their specific scenario was. I've never spoken to the team personally, and obviously I wish them the best. But it's possible that that's maybe what happened. They just grew so quick to the point where they just never really thought about it. Which again, I'm not absolving them of that. That's important, right? And of course, that's on them. But it's just something I think that we as a space should really take more seriously. Security practices, opsec, right? Operational security. That's probably one of the most under talked about things in this space. And I think it's hard to hold people accountable for that because you don't always know what's happening on the back end, right? That OPSEC isn't really transparent, right? Unfortunately. So that to me is the most important part. I think after that, smart contract bugs, stuff like that, where people can come in and obviously if you have something, if your code is wrong or there's a vulnerability, then AI, unfortunately at this point, seems like it'll be smart enough to be able to get by it or find it if no one else has already. That's a completely different, obviously, scenario, but it seems like it's going to be possible in the near future. What do you guys think? I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about this since a lot of this stuff is happening in real time. The RS ETH scenario, unfortunately, is not done yet. There's a lot of people that are kind of still figuring out how far does the contagion of RS ETH go, because, like I said, it wasn't exclusive to just Aave, for example, or Layer Zero. They had integrations that unfortunately they spanned quite far. So yeah, let's see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Talk to you later. Peace.